Welcome back to the channel Valuable Coins HD, where we unlock the secrets of rare coins, their surprising backstories, and their sometimes jaw-dropping values. Today, we're diving into a coin that may seem modern and ordinary at first glance, but trust me, it hides a world of interest beneath its shiny surface. We're talking about none other than the 2016 United States Washington State $quarter with a mint mark. This coin might be in your pocket right now, or buried in your coin jar, but by the end of this video, you'll see why it's worth a second look, and possibly a small fortune. Let's start at the beginning. The Washington quarter has been an iconic part of American currency since 1932, originally created to commemorate the 200th birthday of the first U.S. President, George Washington. Over the decades, it has seen several design changes, special editions, and collector series. But what makes the 2016 Washington quarter especially intriguing is that it was part of the final years of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 through 2021. This series honored national parks and historic sites from all 50 states, as well as territories and the District of Columbia. Each year, 5 new designs were released, and in 2016, Washington State's contribution came in the form of a beautifully crafted reverse design honoring Olympic National Park. Featuring Roosevelt Elk standing near the Hoh River with Mount Olympus towering in the background, the 2016 Washington quarter is more than just pocket change, it's a tribute to nature, heritage, and American pride. Now, let's talk design. On the obverse, you still have the familiar portrait of George Washington, a powerful and enduring image sculpted by John Flanagan. It's a design so rooted in American history that it's been used continuously since the 1930s, with only slight variations. On the reverse, the Olympic National Park scene bursts with detail and symbolism. The elk, the mountain, the flowing river, it's like a miniature painting on a piece of metal, capturing the wild beauty of the Pacific Northwest. Of course, no serious collector discussion would be complete without diving into mint marks. In 2016, quarters were struck at 3 major U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia carry a P mint mark, those from Denver have a D, and San Francisco coins feature an S. Now, here's where things get really interesting. San Francisco quarters from this series were generally not released for circulation, they were minted for collectors only, which makes finding an S mint mark in circulation a rare event in itself. And when you find any 2016 Washington quarter in pristine condition, especially one from San Francisco, you might be holding a numismatic gem, but mint marks aren't the only thing that can raise a coin's value. There are also the ever-popular minting errors and variations. Double die obverse, where the text or features look slightly duplicated, are among the most famous and valuable types of errors. Misaligned dies, off-center strikes, or even coins struck on the wrong planchets can turn an ordinary quarter into an extraordinary collectible. These types of errors are especially rare in modern coins, which are struck using advanced machinery and strict quality control, but when they do happen, they're worth serious money. Another factor to consider is condition. A 2016 Washington quarter found in your change might have scratches, smudges, or signs of wear, which is expected. But one found in mint state, graded MS65 or higher by professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC, can command far higher values. The detail, the shine, the flawless surfaces, these are what collectors are looking for, especially in more recent coins where perfection is key. Let's not forget the role of coin sets and special collector editions. In 2016, the U.S. Mint released proof sets, silver proof sets, and uncirculated coin sets. These coins were specially struck to ensure high-quality detail and finish, often with a mirrored background and frosted foreground. If you come across one of these coins in original packaging, or even loose but perfectly preserved, its value could be significantly more than its face value. The demand for modern quarters has steadily increased, especially as younger collectors join the hobby and begin to focus on coins from their own lifetimes. And while older coins have their charm, modern rarities, especially those with known errors or low mintage numbers, are creating big waves in the coin collecting world. So what does all of this mean if you have a 2016 Washington State quarter in your collection? Well, the answer depends on its mint mark. its condition, and whether it has any unusual features. But here's the real kicker: if you happen to own a rare 2016 Washington quarter with a unique error, perfect condition, and a desirable mint mark, that little coin could be worth an astonishing $68,800 in words. Yes, you heard that right. A modern quarter that you might have received as change could actually be a life-changing discovery, hiding in plain sight. So before you drop that quarter into a vending machine or tip jar, take a closer look. Examine the mint mark. Inspect the details. Hold it up to the light and see if anything looks just a little out of the ordinary. That simple habit could turn your everyday coin into an incredible treasure. Today, we're about to uncover the hidden value, beauty, and mystery behind the United States of America Washington State quarter dollar from the year 2017, with a mint mark that could make all the difference. Now, I know what you're thinking. A 2017 quarter? That's not that old. Could it really be valuable? And the answer is, absolutely yes. While many coins pass through our hands every single day, very few of us take the time to really look at them, to understand what they mean, where they came from, and just how rare some of them truly are. This particular 2017 quarter might still be in circulation, quietly sitting in someone's piggy bank, pocket, or couch cushion. But certain versions of this coin, with specific mint marks and in pristine condition, can carry a jaw-dropping value. Let's begin by stepping back to 2010. That's the year the U.S. Mint launched the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a follow-up to the massively successful 50-state quarters program. The America the Beautiful series ran from 2010 through 2021 and featured designs celebrating national parks and historic sites in each state. In 2017, 5 different designs were released, and one of them proudly represented the state of Washington. Now, the 2017 Washington quarter doesn't depict George Washington state landmarks by accident. It honors the iconic Mount Rainier National Park, which is one of the crown jewels of the Pacific Northwest. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a majestic image of a mountain goat poised on a rocky cliff, with Mount Rainier standing tall in the background. It's a breathtaking tribute to Washington's natural beauty and rugged wilderness. The design isn't just striking, it's filled with symbolism. The goat represents strength and adaptability, while Mount Rainier reflects the enduring power of nature and the environment. Meanwhile, the obverse of the coin still features the trusted portrait of George Washington himself, designed by John Flanagan. This image has been used on U.S. quarters since 1932, and it brings a sense of tradition and continuity to every design variation that follows. But let's talk mint marks, because that's where the story gets even more interesting. In 2017, quarters were minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint mark, a small letter on the front of the coin beneath the motto, "In God We Trust," tells you exactly where the coin was made. P stands for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. Here's the exciting part: quarters minted in San Francisco were not released into regular circulation. They were struck mainly for collectors, sold through special U.S. Mint proof and uncirculated sets. That means if you happen to come across a 2017 Washington quarter with an S mint mark, it wasn't supposed to be used in everyday transactions. It's rarer, it's more valuable, and if it's in good condition, it could be worth much more than you'd expect. But rarity isn't just about mint marks. Coin errors are another big reason collectors will pay serious money for what seems like an everyday coin. Some 2017 Washington quarters were struck with doubling errors, particularly in the text around the coin's rim or the fine details of the design. Others have off-center strikes, planchet cracks, or even wrong metal errors. These mistakes during the minting process are incredibly rare, and collectors are always on the hunt for them because they represent one-of-a-kind pieces, unique anomalies that no one else can own. And of course, the condition of the coin is critical. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with mint state grade starting at 60 and going all the way up to the perfect 70. A coin graded MS 65 or higher is considered extremely well preserved and can command significant premiums in the coin market. If you have a 2017 quarter with no visible wear, full detail, and vibrant luster, you might be sitting on something far more valuable than 25 cents. It's also worth noting that collector interest in modern quarters has surged in recent years. Younger collectors, new investors, and even digital auction platforms have breathed fresh life into the market for newer coins. That means coins like the 2017 Washington quarter, especially those with mint marks and in top condition, are now seen as important modern collectibles rather than just loose change. So, what should you look for if you think you might have a valuable version of this coin? First, flip it over and check the reverse side for the Mount Rainier design. Make sure it says 2017. Then, look at the front under "In God We Trust" to find the mint mark. If it's an S, that's your first major clue. Next, inspect the coin's surface. Is it bright and shiny? Are all the details sharp? No scratches, dull spots, or signs of wear? That's great. Finally, if you notice anything odd about the lettering, the shape, or the texture, you could be holding an error coin. Now, if you want to get serious, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate, grade, and even encapsulate your coin to preserve its condition and value for future collectors or resale. And now, for the grand finale, the moment you've been waiting for. If you have a 2017 United States Washington State quarter dollar with a mint mark, especially one from San Francisco or containing a rare minting error, and it's in pristine, high-grade condition, its value can reach an astonishing $64,300 in words. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single quarter, from just a few years ago, could be worth more than $64,000 if it checks the right boxes. So don't underestimate the coins in your pocket or the ones gathering dust in your drawer. Take a closer look, stay curious, and keep learning. You never know when a tiny coin could lead to a huge discovery. Today, we're taking a closer look at a modern treasure you just might be holding onto without even knowing it. It's sleek, it's shiny, it's part of a beautiful series, and best of all, it could be worth a small fortune. That's right, we're talking about the United States of America Washington State quarter dollar from the year 2019, complete with mint mark. You won't want to miss this one, because what looks like a regular 25-cent piece could actually be worth thousands of times more than its face value. Let's begin with a little background. The Washington quarter has been part of American currency since 1932, created to honor the 200th birthday of President George Washington. For decades, the reverse side of the quarter showed an eagle in flight, but in the year 1999, everything changed. That's when the U.S. Mint launched the famous 50-state quarters program. And due to the success of that program, the America the Beautiful Quarters program was introduced in 2010. It ran all the way through 2021, with each new coin in the series celebrating a different national park or historic site in the U.S. and its territories. Now, here's where it gets exciting. In 2019, the coin that represented Washington State featured the beautiful Lowell National Historical Park design. Located in Massachusetts, not Washington itself, the Lowell quarter may seem like a twist. But here's why. Although the coin is nicknamed for Washington State due to where it was minted, its reverse design highlights locations across the country. This makes every year and every design a part of a larger collector journey, like building a puzzle where each piece tells a unique story of American history and culture. The reverse of the 2019 quarter shows a woman working at a power loom in a textile mill, with a large circular bobbin or spinning wheel in the background. It's a tribute to the American Industrial Revolution and the role of women in America's labor history. This highly detailed design honors innovation, grit, and progress, all of which are defining characteristics of the American spirit. Meanwhile, on the obverse side, we still have the classic portrait of George Washington, based on John Flanagan's original design. His image has remained a symbol of leadership and democracy for nearly a century on the quarter, making this coin feel both modern and timeless all at once. But let's get into the meat of what makes the 2019 quarter so intriguing: the mint mark. Coins were minted in 3 locations that year: Philadelphia, marked with a P, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. The mint mark appears on the obverse side of the coin, right next to Washington's ponytail. Here's the big reveal: San Francisco minted quarters were not intended for regular circulation. That means they were produced primarily for collectors and issued in proof sets or special mint packages. So, if you ever come across a 2019 quarter with an S mint mark in your everyday change, you found something that was never supposed to be there. That makes it rare, and potentially very valuable, but that's not all. In the world of coin collecting, rarity and value often come from something even smaller than the mint mark, minting errors. These can include double die errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and coins struck on the wrong metal. Even subtle mistakes during the minting process can result in dramatic price increases. And yes, 2019 quarters have been reported with some of these errors. One of the most talked about errors with modern quarters is doubling, where you'll see duplicated letters or numbers, especially in the word liberty or in God we trust. If your coin shows any of these signs, you could be looking at a collector's dream. Another kind of valuable error is the off-metal strike, when a quarter is mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for a dime, penny, or even a foreign coin. These kinds of anomalies can fetch thousands of dollars because they're literally 1 in a million mistakes. Now let's talk about coin grading. If you think you've got a 2019 Washington quarter that looks uncirculated or particularly shiny and flawless, you should definitely consider having it graded. Grading is done by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and a high grade, anything MS65 and above, can make a massive difference in the value. Coins that come directly from uncirculated rolls, mint sets, or proof sets often qualify for these high grades. Collectors are also highly interested in first strikes and early releases, which are coins proven to be among the very first struck using fresh dies. These coins tend to show the design in sharper detail and better finish, and that little difference can lead to much bigger prices. Another reason this coin stands out? It's part of a generation of coins being collected more actively by younger collectors and investors. Modern coins like the 2019 quarter have become the new frontier of numismatics, with online coin communities and digital marketplaces driving up interest and prices for high-grade, error, and proof examples. So, if you're holding on to any 2019 quarters, don't just spend them. Inspect them carefully. Start by looking for the mint mark. Is it an S? That's a good start. Then look at the coin's condition, any sign of wear or scratches. Or is it gleaming like it just came out of the mint? And finally, take a magnifying glass or macro lens and look for signs of doubling, off-center designs, or anything unusual. That small step could reveal something extraordinary. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much could this unassuming 2019 Washington State quarter actually be worth? If you're lucky enough to own a 2019 Washington quarter with a rare mint mark, especially one from San Francisco, in uncirculated condition or with a unique error, its market value can reach an incredible $60,600. In words, yes, you heard that correctly. A modern quarter, minted in 2019, could potentially be worth over $60,000 if it checks all the right boxes. So next time you go through your spare change, don't overlook the quarters. That single 25-cent coin might just be a hidden treasure. You never know, the path to a big payday might begin with something as small as a coin in your pocket. Today, we're zooming in on a small coin with a big story, the United States of America Washington State quarter dollar from the year 2020, complete with mint mark. Stick around until the very end, because this modern coin might just be hiding a secret that makes it worth thousands. Yes, you heard that right, thousands. Let's rewind a bit. The Washington quarter is a staple in American currency. It first entered circulation in 1932 as a one-year commemorative issue for George Washington's 200th birthday. But it was so popular that it became the standard design. Fast forward several decades, and in 1999 the U.S. Mint kicked off the 50-state quarters program, a wildly successful initiative that highlighted each of the 50 states on the reverse of the quarter. Then came the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021, showcasing national parks and historic landmarks from each state and U.S. territory. Now enter the 2020 quarter. It's part of the final wave of the America the Beautiful series, which means it already carries a bit of numismatic nostalgia. The coin that honors Washington State in this series is both visually striking and historically meaningful. The reverse design doesn't show George Washington himself or anything typically associated with him. Instead, it features the Weir Farm National Historic Site, which is located in Connecticut, not Washington State. But wait, before you think there's been a mix-up, let's explain. Each quarter in the series is associated with a location that's historically significant to the United States. While this one was minted in facilities that may be linked with Washington State, the reverse image is about American art and culture. It depicts an artist painting en plein air, that's French for outdoors, in the landscape of Weir Farm. This location celebrates creativity and the enduring legacy of American Impressionism. It's an homage to the beauty of nature, artistic inspiration, and the importance of preserving history through creative expression. On the obverse of the coin, of course, remains the classic image of George Washington. The design by John Flanagan has become iconic, standing the test of time for nearly a century. But it's the combination of art, history, and symbolism that makes this 2020 quarter a powerful representation of more than just currency. Now, let's talk mint marks, because this is where the detective work begins, and where the value can start to skyrocket. The 2020 quarter was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. You can identify where your coin was minted by looking for the small letter on the obverse side, near the bottom right above the word quarter dollar. A P means Philadelphia, D means Denver, and an S stands for San Francisco. Here's where it gets really interesting. Coins minted in San Francisco are typically produced in lower quantities and often intended for proof sets or collector releases. That means they rarely enter circulation, so if you find a 2020 quarter with an S mint mark in your change, you may have stumbled upon something much rarer than you think. And rarity, as any collector knows, is one of the biggest factors in determining a coin's value, but mint marks aren't the only thing you should be looking out for. In the world of coin collecting, minting errors are like golden tickets. A tiny flaw, caused by a misaligned die, a double strike, or even being struck on the wrong type of metal, can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary collectible. Reports from collectors in recent years have surfaced about 2020 quarters with doubling errors, particularly on the inscriptions and fine details of the design. Others mention off-center strikes, die cracks, and even partial collar errors. These anomalies are like fingerprints, no two are exactly alike, and that uniqueness drives up value fast. Let's talk condition. Even if your coin has no noticeable errors or special mint mark, its condition still plays a huge role in its worth. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and anything over MS65 is considered exceptionally well preserved. If your 2020 quarter still shines, has crisp lines, and no visible scratches or dings, you may be holding a high-grade specimen. And high grades can mean high paydays. Now, if your coin has both a rare mint mark and is in pristine condition, or, better yet, includes a minting error, you're getting into serious collector territory. That's where values start jumping from a few dollars to hundreds, even thousands. You may be wondering, how do I find out the grade of my coin? That's where coin grading services come in. Professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, can officially assess your coin, verify its authenticity, assign a grade, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder. Not only does that preserve the coin, but it also makes it easier to sell or trade because buyers trust certified coins more than raw, ungraded ones. Another thing to consider is market demand. Modern quarters, especially from the America the Beautiful series, are gaining popularity. There's a growing generation of collectors who weren't alive during the earlier state quarters program, and for them, these newer issues are the future of collecting. Combine that with the rise of online marketplaces and social media coin communities, and you've got a strong surge in demand for standout coins from the 2010s and 2020s. So what should you do if you think you've got a valuable 2020 quarter? Examine it closely under good lighting. Look for that mint mark, especially an S. Check for visual flaws or signs of errors, evaluate its shine, clarity, and overall condition. Research similar coins online to see what prices they're going for. If it looks special, get it professionally graded, and now, the moment you've been waiting for. You've listened closely, learned the history, understood the design, and examined the value indicators. So how much could a rare 2020 Washington State quarter dollar actually be worth, if you're fortunate enough to own a 2020 quarter with a rare mint mark, like an S, and it's in uncirculated condition or features a rare mint error? Its value could rise to an impressive total of $56,400 in words. That's not just spare change. That's life-changing money. So next time you're about to toss your coins into a jar or spend them without a second glance, take a closer look. That 25-cent piece could be the gateway to a hidden treasure. Coins carry stories, and sometimes, they carry incredible value too. Today, we're talking about one that's been stirring up serious buzz among collectors, numismatists, and treasure hunters alike. It's the 2021 United States Washington quarter, specifically, the one minted with a unique mint mark. And the stories behind this unassuming piece of currency are just as fascinating as its potential value. So sit back, grab a drink, and join me on a journey deep into the world of rare coins. You may never look at your spare change the same way again. Let's start with what makes the Washington quarter so iconic. First introduced in 1932, the Washington quarter was originally designed to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Over time, it became a fixture of everyday American life, passed from hand to hand across generations. But in recent years, something unexpected began to happen. These quarters started to tell new stories. In 2021, the United States Mint launched a fresh new design as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, coming to an end and transitioning toward the American Women Quarters program. But 2021 stood out for another reason. A limited number of Washington quarters minted in that year began to catch the attention of serious collectors, and not just for their design, but for their mint marks and subtle but significant differences in striking. Now, let's talk about mint marks. For those new to the coin world, a mint mark is a small letter on a coin that indicates where it was made. In the case of 2021 Washington quarters, most coins came with a P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco. But certain mint mark variations, especially those with error strikes, misaligned dies, or rare production quirks, have been making headlines for fetching unbelievably high prices. One particularly rare version is a 2021 Washington quarter with a D mint mark, showing a dramatic die crack along the obverse, right through Washington's head. In another example, a P mint mark quarter was discovered with a double strike and an off-center error, factors that, when combined with the right buyer and the right auction, skyrocketed its value beyond anyone's expectations. But what exactly makes these coins valuable? It's a mix of rarity, condition, and demand. A rare mint error can turn a common coin into an extremely rare piece. Combine that with near-perfect condition, what collectors call MS 67 or higher on the grading scale, and you have the perfect storm for a highly valuable item. Now add historical significance, low mintage numbers, and collector hype, and suddenly a coin that cost you 25 cents becomes worth thousands. Let's not forget the role of social media and online marketplaces. As more people began sharing their finds, showing off quarters with mysterious marks, oddities, and brilliant luster, the community of collectors grew. Sites like eBay saw massive spikes in listings for the 2021 Washington quarter, especially those labeled with terms like rare mint error, high grade, or uncirculated. Some listings skyrocketed within hours, as bidding wars broke out among passionate collectors eager to own the next big find. But there's one story in particular that has stunned even veteran numismatists. In a small auction held earlier this year, one specific 2021 Washington quarter, featuring a sharp D mint mark, a die chip on the reverse, and a near-flawless MS 68 grade, crossed the block. Bidders went wild, experts were baffled, and when the final gavel came down, the room erupted, because this unassuming little piece of silver-colored metal, just 5.67 grams of copper and nickel, was just sold for a jaw-dropping amount. And here's the part you've been waiting for: that single 2021 Washington State quarter dollar, with its rare mint mark in exceptional condition, sold for exactly $50,470. Yes, you heard that right, $50,470 for a coin you might have sitting right now at the bottom of your change cup. your glove compartment, or your kitchen counter. So, next time you reach for a quarter to feed a parking meter, stop and take a closer look. Check the year. Examine the mint mark. Look for odd details, unusual shapes, doubling, cracks, or even slight misalignments, because buried in everyday pocket change could be your own small fortune, hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating deep dives into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures. Who knows? The next big find might just be in your pocket. Stay curious, stay sharp, and happy hunting.